It is March 4th. It is March 12th.
March 12th. You're a couple days
I just
behind.
went back in time there, Bob. And things are happening. I'm frustrated right now. I've spent the last 24 hours going from excitement to frustration, back towards excitement, to dejection, to failure, to now we're recording.
You gave it a wonderful effort. Very
So,
proud of your effort.
We should be coming through a little bit clearer. We are speaking into the Blue Yeti. We have two Blue Yetis. To record two Blue Yetis, you got to download a mixer. We had the mixer going. Wasn't quite dialed to the point I wanted it. I kept tweaking. I got so frustrated I deleted the mixer. Now we can't get it back.
Uh-oh.
So I'm frustrated.
It was a tremendous effort. I applaud you. You're trying to pick up new stuff. And everybody, this is an effort to try and bring better sound quality.
A better product.
We're trying to bring more regular content, maybe weekly episodes, just to put out there and see where it goes. So, with all that said, we're kind of getting into what a lot of people say is not a action-packed part of the sports calendar. However, I think it's probably my favorite time.
Favorite time?
Favorite time.
Of all time?
Of the whole calendar, I think this might be one of my favorite times.
Well, NFL is over, so it's hard for me to say that it's my favorite time. NFL is never over, but the NFL season is
That's
over.
what I mean.
So we got your free agency at least, but it's not quite the sports equinox. But tell me, why do you love this time so much?
To me, it is. To me, it is an equinox where you have probably the least important, starting from probably the least important to most important. Baseball's starting to kick off. I mean, obviously not a huge thing, and it is spring training, but opening day will be around the corner.
Baseball purists are excited.
Baseball purists are excited.
All 12 of them.
You have lots of golf tournaments going on. We just had the Arnold Palmer, really good.
Yeah.
Scheffler is running away today with the Players.
Yeah, no drama there.
Should have been a good tournament, but he's just too good. Way better than your boy Zalatoris that can't putt.
He's great. He's everybody's boy.
No.
What else? What's the so that's the
So you have the golf, and then you have the Masters coming up here in April. You have the college basketball, the conference tournaments, and meaningful college basketball games. Too bad our Spartans had to lay an egg for us on Friday, robbing us of a nice weekend of Spartan hoops. Thanks, Tom.
very disappointing.
And then, obviously, Selection Sunday later tonight. We'll see where the Spartans are going to be at. And then we have the big dance throughout the next month. And then, honestly, NFL is king. The offseason, we just went through the combine. We're getting into free agency. The tampering period starts Monday. And then we're going to get into the draft. And it's really the start of the next year in the building process. With NFL being king, is any other sport's regular season more important or as important as this NFL offseason?
Did you say is any other sport's regular season as important as free agency?
As free
in
agency,
the NFL?
important,
Or as
like
entertainment
see,
value?
must view, getting your attention. What gets your attention more, the NBA regular season or NFL start of free agency, rumor mill, draft, combine?
I mean, come on. We got Raji Watch. I'm constantly refreshing the Twitter feed.
Reload.
Checking Bleacher Report, going through message boards, just trying to get something to hold on to so that I can just maybe get an edge and know what's happening. And then just, of course, waiting for that breaking news notification to pop up on my phone. Aaron Rodgers has been traded to the New York Jets for 2 first-round picks. Thus ending.
And we'll get more into Rodgers.
So
here.
yeah, I feel you there. But I did find it interesting that you are putting it more as putting it above March Madness, because you went from least important to most important, and you named March Madness first.
I
Before
think
NFL season.
I do. And I would continue to do that because NFL is king.
Well, once the real tournament games start, nothing else. I mean, if a Rodgers trade pops off on Thursday, yes, that's going to definitely take some attention away from the first round. But I think we're going to get news before that. So, like, you're right, 1 and 1A. So, it is a fun time. I think, for me personally, the best time of the year for sports is probably, like, October. But when you got regular season basketball, hockey, you still got playoff baseball, then the NFL's in full swing. But this is an underrated time of the year. And the snow, what I like about March is snow is melting. Usually we're getting into summer, so it is like my favorite time of the year because winter's going to be in the rear view soon.
Getting done with the hibernation.
The good times roll, baby.
Yeah. And it's good. And yes, October when you have NFL and college football, it is very tough to top that. But as far as like the baseball playoffs, unless the Tigers are in it,
right?
I don't care. Hockey, NHL postseason, unless the Red Wings are in it, I don't really care. With this part of the year, with having the Masters coming up, the last 2 golf tournaments, the key basketball games, little news dropping all the time in the NFL, in
NBA players on new teams, meaningful games.
Yes.
So as far as meaningful games goes, and like big breaking news,
I mentioned it to you earlier, like the mock draft mania, and how many the PFF
mock draft simulator,
and how many hours of work that thing has probably stolen from companies. Because people are on there messing around, seeing what their team can do. Like, you don't do that for any other sport.
We might have to put out a mock draft.
We might. And maybe we do a blitz or something at some point, maybe next week. But, yeah, it's a great time. And, like today, just coming in today, the Ramsey trade. Ramsey, I was hoping the Lions were going to pick up Ramsey. And boom, they don't make the move, and it's the Dolphins that pick him up.
Miami.
For nothing.
Came in and got Jalen Ramsey for a third and Hunter. Who?
Hunter Long? Meaningless.
So long, Hunter.
Yeah, no kidding.
No one's ever even heard of him, and he's involved in a trade with Jalen Ramsey. Watch him just turn out to be some stud.
Right. But
that's a huge get for Miami, and that kind of sucks for you because I felt like you thought you were the favorite to get him.
I did.
And he was for a little bit, but then it kind of, once it didn't happen, it's like, all right, it sounds like this isn't going to come true for you.
They did give him a lot of money, which is kind of weird. I don't know how they're going to afford all these guys, but that's the NFL salary cap.
Just punt the salary cap and hope it keeps going up.
Like your squad continues to do time and time again with the Packers.
Strange times for us, that's for sure.
But
restructuring everyone without knowing who's playing quarterback.
But yeah, so think of that division now. And now if we're going to talk about Aaron Rodgers in length a little bit here, bit more, but the Jets, if they and when they acquire Rodgers, the Bills and the Dolphins in the same division, that suddenly becomes probably the premier division in football.
You would think.
Tua's health withstanding, obviously.
He'll be fine. I mean, he just got a little bit crossed up. They're going to have to protect him a little bit better. But
if he gets a concussion again next year, does he just quit playing?
No. He loves it. Like, if you hear him talk, he makes jokes about it at the podium. They asked him, what it was like getting that concussion after, his arms were, sticking in the air and he's cross-eyed and he's like, I don't remember. And he thought it was funny. And he's just a gamer and he wants to get back out there.
I'm sure his family loves that.
So Aaron Rodgers even went through a point where he had a couple bad concussions and it's just kind of unlucky, right? With how much they protect quarterbacks, I bet he probably gets through next season without a concussion. And it's probably just a kind of a time in his career where there was some concern. And I think going forward, he has better luck, and he's not getting concussed every other week. But he's gonna have to do a little bit better job protecting himself for sure.
Speaking of Aaron Rodgers concussions,
Yeah.
do you think he thought Kirby Joseph was on the Packers?
I think he's got CTE.
Do you think that's why he kept throwing Kirby the ball?
No, I think Kirby's just like super fast and he's underestimated his range.
Okay. Just checking.
Yeah.
Just thought I'd check.
And just
I was concerned. I
Appreciate
don't know
the concern.
I don't know how Kirby's going to make a living now with Aaron out of the division. He's used to feasting on him, so
he's just gonna have to see if he can get moved over to the AFC East.
I guess.
See if he can just make a
Become
living.
a Bill or a Pat.
I don't know. It'd be hard pressed to make a living picking off Aaron Rodgers.
He's done it.
Yeah, whatever. He's the Aaron stopper. Wow.
Like,
See if
do you remember Byron? So this was way back, but Byron Russell for the Jazz was the Jordan stopper.
Until the last shot.
Yeah.
Remember who was the Kobe stopper?
It was
Xavier Ryder?
Was it Ruben Patterson?
Ruben Patterson.
the Kobe stopper.
Yeah.
And all those stoppers continuously get clowned on.
Oh yeah. Because I mean, really,
they're in a bad spot.
Nobody was ever stopping either of those guys.
Right.
But they like at one point like slowed them down a little bit, and they're like, "I'm the Kobe stopper."
That's about as bad of a spot as you could
like,
be.
"Oh, you're the Kobe stopper, huh?" Kobe comes back, drops 50.
You're just expected to stop this guy, so the moment they score on you, you're a failure.
Good lord. NFL free agency.
But yeah, the NFL going on. I'm very excited for what Monday's going to hold tomorrow.
Yeah, it could be like
who are the Lions going to get after? Are they going to get a corner? Are they going to get a defensive tackle? I really want them to get Levante David. I would love for them to get him as an off-ball linebacker, and I would love for them to draft Jack Campbell, who I think is going to be Luke Kuechly. We'll see what the Lions do. It's going to be very exciting. Obviously, your team, they don't have the cap space, but they might be involved in a semi-big move.
How much cap space don't we have? Tell me.
They might be getting rid of their dead weight and dropping Rodgers to another team. So, with that,
we got like 20,
what do you think? How are you feeling
in cap space? That's not nothing.
Nothing.
We can sign guys. We can get what we want. So
what I'm gonna just let you talk about Rodgers, your emotions, your.
You're
feelings.
gonna let me talk? Thought
Yeah.
this was the Steve show.
It is.
How about you talk over me while I talk? Can we do that?
Yeah, we can do that.
So people don't have to just get through listening to me speak. But hey, bear with us, folks. It's your favorite part of the show where we talk about Aaron Rodgers.
The biggest diva in the world.
Oh, you've been calling him a diva all week, and it's like, it makes you sound like a diva, honestly.
Okay.
Aaron Rodgers is a diva. I'm so tired of people just being all obsessed about the timeline. The NFL's new year hasn't even started yet, and everyone's just chomping at the bit for a decision. That's not his fault. He doesn't care. But I digress. Aaron Rodgers.
He should care.
Has been on the Green Bay Packers since I was 14 years old. I remember sitting in Taylor's basement when we drafted him. We still had 3 years of Brett Favre left. And he has been the quarterback of my adult life. Brett Favre was the quarterback of my childhood. I turned 18. The Packers hand over the keys to Aaron Rodgers. It's been nothing but success.
And when you say the quarterback of your life, you really mean it.
Of my adulthood.
Like, you started eating mushrooms because of him and started drinking mushrooms and stopped drinking coffee because of Rodgers. Like, he's quarterbacking your lifestyle.
I mean, he is a good influence on me, that's for sure. It was nice to get a little bit of a break from coffee, but I would give more credit that towards, like, listening to a little bit of Joe Rogan. He was on the Joe Rogan show. That's like really the only time I listened to it. And then when I listened to that, my algorithm in TikTok, my algorithm in TikTok started showing me this mud water that I needed to drink, and like they just kept hammering me with the mud water, and I finally gave in and ordered it, and for about 4 months straight, I was just drinking mushroom water instead of coffee.
Is there anything better than the TikTok algorithm? Anything more better. Spot on?
It's unbelievable. It's like they knew I was ready, and I knew that I was like their market, and sure enough, I got a 90-day supply of it sitting upstairs.
We are constantly sending each other TikToks that we have both already seen.
Yeah, we're locked into the same algorithm, that's for sure. They got us pegged. But yeah, I mean, between reading,
yes,
the Aaron Rodgers book club.
You're on his book club.
I'm still, I've been like, touch and go with the reading. Read the first one. I can't even remember the name of it. The Alchemist.
Oh,
I read that.
look at that.
Great book.
Yeah.
I read the John Krakauer book about Pat Tillman. I started another book, 1984. That one I got like halfway through it. I couldn't
All
do it.
personal recommendations from Aaron Rodgers.
Stay away from 1984. That one's a tough read. It's a thick read and small print, lots of words. Don't recommend.
Hey,
but it is
that's
interesting,
okay.
but it was just a little too thick for this mind of mine.
Just start reading left to right.
Into the Wild,
down.
Another good one. So yeah, he's been a good influence. And he's all about, he's like on this hippie kick right now where he's all about like his mental health and like, you're finding your peace and just helping spread love. And I just want him to spread some touchdowns around, baby.
Talking about spreading love, he's letting love fly now.
Yeah, that's probably why he wants to leave. Love needs to play.
Love is in the air.
Let him love. Let the man love on the field. So, yeah, he's gone. I've kind of come to terms with that. And now it's time to turn the chapter over to Jordan Love. Get a couple picks for him. And I'll still wish him the best. Jets are very interesting. I think they just need a quarterback, really. And then they can add some pieces. I think their line, I've been looking at their roster, their line's actually kind of
They've
underrated.
drafted some first-rounders on the O-line.
Becton, he's from, like, Alabama, right? Or,
I think he was Louisville, if I remember correctly.
Verjao Tucker.
Yeah,
from
Verjao
USC.
Tucker.
We're still learning the Jets roster here. We're not completely dialed in yet. But, and then there's another guy that they just restructured from the 49ers, and they could maybe get Bakhtiari packaged in.
Laken Tomlinson, former Lion draft pick. He was a first
rounder. So, and then Sauce
selection.
Gardner said, if Rodgers comes, it's package deals all over the place. And I assume that means, like, with Rodgers comes, like, the package of guys that just want to win a Super Bowl and that are on the market.
Maybe.
Or, like, guys, like... Or maybe he's thinking, like, package deals like Randall Cobb, Ellen Lazard,
there you go.
Mercedes Lewis,
There we go.
Bobby Tunyon.
See if Donnie Driver's still available.
Deals. Exactly. Dust off the old cleats. Double D said he'll never play for anyone besides the Packers, so...
Dang.
Don't go there. And then he also questioned Rodgers' leadership, I think, at one point. So he might have been canceled.
Not good. He's canceled.
Along with
out.
Greg Jennings and Jermichael McFinley. But
man,
yeah, baby, it's love time.
It is. It's exciting. I, as a Lions fan, sit here and it does kind of bum me out because, we just got to watch 2 phenomenal football games last year in person, me and you.
Those were brutal. They were great for you. They were not even good football games. The last game of the year was a pretty good football game.
That was a great football game.
Jamal Williams got in the end zone twice. But, they were good. That was a pretty good football game. Hard fought. Kind of an ugly game. Field goals.
There's no
cold
better.
In the frozen tundra.
As the Lions have not made the playoffs and experienced playoff football, to me, there is no other better home team feeling in the NFL than beating Aaron Rodgers. So the fact that is going away, at least we got to do it twice last year. And shout out to Christopher McNeely for setting up that wonderful trip to Green Bay at the end of last year. Man. So we could all be there as we watched the Lions send Aaron Rodgers in that Packers team in his Packer.
See, this is what happens when you start letting
into the trash.
You start letting Steve talk about the Packers. It all comes back to the Lions.
Of course,
and we beat you guys.
I can
what
never.
Was his record against you guys during his tenure?
Irrelevant.
Oh, irrelevant.
That's all long ago. What I know is I've seen him play 4 times live, and the Lions have beaten him 3 out of 4.
That's all that matters is the games that you went to.
Very, very exciting for me. It's a bummer that I won't be able to experience it again, but I like reminding you that you were there. I like to watch the demise.
I like to remind you that you have selective memory. You've been to 5 games with me, and one of them was in 2018. We went to 2 in 2019. Well, actually, no, you didn't. You did not go to Monday Night Football with me.
I did not.
So yeah. That's all I really got to say about that right now, Bob. We'll have a deal coming soon. It'll be exciting. I'll have 2 teams next season, and I do think there is still a sliver of a chance that he's back in green and yellow. But like Mark Murphy said, that's not
ideal.
That's not what they want, and that's not what I don't think that's what he wants. And I think it's all kind of come to a head. Jordan Love's finally developed. They're confident in him, so he's ready to take over. And I think that his floor, like I said, is very high. I think he's a Pro Bowl quarterback.
His floor is the ceiling?
His ceiling is the roof. Gonna hang in the jersey someday. Yeah. What else?
So that's kind of all we really wanted to touch on in the NFL. We'll have more hopefully next week as a bunch of moves get made. So flipping over to college basketball, we have the tournament coming up.
We do.
We watched our Spartans Friday at 2:30. Just completely lay an egg. I was ticked after that game.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I didn't really get to watch too close, but obviously the hot shooting kind of stopped, and I'm hoping it was just the rims at what is it?
That was at Chicago. That's the United Center.
The United Center rims. I'm hoping it was just something about playing at the United Center that they didn't like. Those NBA arenas can be a little bit different than college arenas. So
it is concerning to me.
The NBA 3 wasn't marked on the floor. Was that, or was it?
I don't remember. No, it's not. We're watching the finals right now. It's not marked.
Because I hate it when the NBA 3 is marked, because then all of a sudden everyone's playing in the NBA.
That happened when we played in Chicago against Rutgers.
Madison Square.
Yeah, Madison Square. Everyone, all of our guys were playing and shooting from the 3-point line for the NBA, which is no good. But
is there a silver lining?
No, there's no silver lining.
Rest.
I am an optimist, a forever optimist. I always pencil us in to go to the Final Four. I believe our football team's going to go undefeated next year. Not
No,
quite, not fully, but I'm an optimist. I give the benefit of the doubt to Izzo every year, and I have, but now that it has been 3 years where we are 32 and 31 over the last 3 years in Big Ten play, including the Big Ten tournament, that is just not our standard. That's not okay.
You sound spoiled.
Great, and I'm thankful. I'm thankful for that, but like you as a Packers fan, if you guys start missing the playoffs 3 years in a row, is that acceptable?
No, it's not. And Michigan State has not missed the tournament any of those years. Even in down years.
But we barely got in, and we don't get in as more than a 7 or an 8 seed, and we have no shot.
So what are you saying? Obviously, we want to go further than that.
What I'm saying is, right now, if Izzo does not advance past the first weekend, we have not been out of the first weekend of the NCAA tournament all but one time the last 7 years. If he does not get out of the first weekend again this year, and it's 1 of 8, he is officially on the hot seat. And if he does not, like, I am a big fan of the recruiting class this year. I'm very thankful that he decided that, you know what, recruiting does matter after 4 years of picking up below average talent coming from high school. And like there's just things with him that don't make sense. One, he doesn't believe in the transfer portal, yet our 2 best players, Tyson Walker and Joey Hauser came from the transfer portal.
Yeah, so he used it pretty well.
Yeah, but then he refuses to go out. He left 2 or 3 scholarships just open this year when he could have went out and got big man in the transfer portal. He could have got another wing, so we didn't have to watch Hall try and be a point guard and dribble up and turn the ball over, or airball threes at the end of games.
We lost Marble.
And
he's playing
he would have been huge for us this year. I think he's done a terrible job kind of evolving into the transfer portal. I think he was kind of in on it early when he got Walker and Hauser, but it wasn't under really the same sort of rules that we have. Walker was,
right,
but Hauser wasn't. And he's got to keep looking at that to supplement his roster, and he's not been willing to do it. He won't foul up 3 late in the game, and it cost us at least one game this year against Iowa where he could have fouled and saved us from having to go to overtime potentially. And then his timeout usage seems wacky. His rotations in our game Friday, you didn't watch, but to start the game, we're up 7-2. And there's 17 minutes left in the first half. We're like 3 minutes into the game, up 7-2. And there's 2 guys sitting at the scores table waiting to check in.
Yeah, they like to call him timeout Tom.
The second half.
He never seems to have like a real grasp of like the flow. And towards like the end of the game, it's timeout. Just let your players play sometimes.
The second half.
Substitute and timeout. So yeah, I get you
The
there.
second half on Friday, we come out to a 12-2 run and get back in the ball game and cut it to 2. And we're 2.5 to 3 minutes into the game, into the second half.
Mm-hmm.
He's got 3 guys sitting at the scores table waiting to come in.
Yes.
Let your guys go. If they are hot and they're cooking, go.
So stuff like that, I hear you. And we've questioned his coaching in the past, like when he had what's-his-face in the game over Jaren Jackson in the first round. Stuff like that. He's definitely not perfect. But what does Izzo on the hot seat even look like? Let's say we lose in the first weekend, and then next year's a complete flop.
You have to finish top 3 in the Big Ten.
Does he get fired? Does he get told that, all right, Izzo, let's start the succession plan? Like, because let's be honest, he's not getting fired. Like, the guy's got buildings named after him. Like, he's Mr. Michigan State. He's got the month of March named after him. He's not getting fired. So, like he said, I think if it comes to that and, like, he's running out of juice.
Boeheim just got fired.
Boeheim's being shown the door. Did he get fired?
Basically, that's shown the door and fired. It's the same thing to me.
Boeheim's like 86 years old. He's been hanging.
78.
He looks like he's 86, and he's been hanging on for like 4 years.
I actually think he looks younger than Tom.
Has been on the record. Disagree vehemently. He looks younger than ever. Colors the hair. He's covered up the bald spot nicely. The TV adds 10 pounds, and it adds 10 years in Tom's case. But what was I saying? What was I saying?
Who knows?
It was something good.
No, you're talking about
what
Izzo him look like.
No, so Izzo has been on the record when he was talking with Draymond, saying he'll be the first one to resign if he's not doing well, or he's got people that are telling him like, "Hey Tom, like you're not really, as dedicated as you used to be." He said when recruiting's not fun. He'll be the one to step away, and I believe him when he says that because he wants what's best for Michigan State as well.
I do,
but then there's the other side of it. Who replaces him?
You can find somebody.
Yeah.
Look at Duke.
You're just Hall of Fame coaches walking around on the streets.
I mean,
and we got nobody underneath that's ready to take over.
It's such a to me a terrible stance to take because no matter what. Our bar, and thanks to him, our bar is you're competing for a Big Ten title, year in and year out. You are competing in the Big Ten tournament, and then you make runs in the NCAA tournament, and you're always getting out of the first weekend unless it's an upset.
Uh-huh.
So if we go out in the first round of the tournament again this year, again,
we made it to the second round last year.
No, we didn't.
Yeah, we played Duke on their run.
Out of the first weekend.
And we had Duke on the ropes until the very end of the game.
No,
it's truth.
I understand that, but I'm talking about getting out of the first weekend.
I hear you.
We have got out of the first weekend one time in 7 years. If we don't do it again, that's 1-8.
Mm-hmm.
After he had just done it, 6 of 8. That's a big difference. That is, he has raised our standard. It's the same issue with D'Antonio that we saw with him, where they raise the bar of what we expect as a program, and if they start not living up to that, they need to go so that they don't tear it down.
To go.
It's just what it is.
Pump the brakes, okay? We haven't even gotten to the tournament yet, and you're already saying if we lose. That's a loser's mentality.
No, my mentality has nothing to do with what that team's going to do.
Loser's mentality. No. We're the optimistic podcast here.
No.
People don't want to listen to you cry about Izzo in the last 7 years. No. We're here to send up.
They want me to be real.
They
want me to be real.
Tone heading into the tournament. So what do you think we can?
I totally believe that we have the talent to make a run. I believe Tyson Walker and Joey Hauser are probably going to be the best duo on the floor that we see the first weekend, unless we're an 8 or 9 seed and we have to play a 1 seed in the second round on Saturday or Sunday. I think we are going to have more talent than the 2 teams we play against in the first 2 rounds, Thursday, Friday, and then Saturday or Sunday.
We're probably a 7.
And we need to win.
We're probably a 7.
We're probably a 7, yeah. So you're going to be going 7. You're going to play a 10 seed and then a 2. There's no teams in the country that scare me. We went toe-to-toe with Gonzaga. We went toe-to-toe and beat Kentucky, who they didn't end up having a great year, but we have the talent.
I think playing a 2 seed is kind of the sweet spot, unless Kansas falls to a 2 seed. Texas beat Kansas yesterday, I think, so it could be one of them. And then I think we can beat a 2 seed, and then you're taking the 2 seeds road from there. So we definitely are going to predict a run. I hear what you're saying. It is disappointing that we haven't been making Sweet 16 runs, at least, in our down years. I think anything less than a Sweet 16 this year is a big disappointment. And not necessarily Izzo on the hot seat, but then we start to dream about Izzo, life after Izzo. I'll say that.
And if we can get basically a carbon copy of Izzo from when we hired him, a young, hungry, good recruiter that we can roll with, and starts bringing in top-end talent. And again, Izzo did do that this year, but he did not recruit well for about 3 or 4 years.
Yeah. But this next class is one of his best of all time.
Yeah.
But I don't even want to talk about next year. I think we got Tyson that's potentially, done after this run. Hopefully we get him back. Joey's going to be done. Malik, good riddance.
Goodbye. Yeah, we do not want you to come back.
So I think Joey gets back to his hot shooting. I think Tyson really puts us on his back. And if Hogard can distribute, we're definitely looking at making a fun run here.
I thought this before the year, that because of our guard play with Hogard and Walker and Akins stepping in, he's shooting it really well.
Yeah. And he's only a sophomore.
Yes. That with our guard play.
How tall is Akins? He's not like
6'3".
Yeah, he's not an NBA guy. He's a 4-year guy.
He's not. I don't know if he's going to be 4 years, but.
Yeah, at 6'3" as a shooting guard, probably.
But he came in as a point guard, just hasn't been able to get minutes at point guard because of Hogard and Walker.
He doesn't really play like a point guard. Maybe he's just playing his role, but he's not really much of a distributor.
I think it's because he's playing his role.
I think so.
And we've had guys like him, like Kalen Lucas wasn't much of a distributor. He was a scorer. And right. I think Akins would have
not an NBA guy, though. So I think he's a 4-year guy. I'm excited
I think
about
we
him.
all know that Kalen would have been an NBA guy if he didn't tear his Achilles.
Yeah, maybe.
Definitely.
Possibly.
Either way, I thought this before the year that there's going to be times where we have our lapses like normal, but come tournament time, the tournament teams that do really well are ones that are led by guards and veteran guards.
Guard
and the
play
fact
in March.
that we have 3 of them on the wings in the backcourt is going to bode very well. I hope, and I am very hopeful that they do make a run, but I'm just nervous, man.
So as we speak, we are coming to a finish here in the Big Ten Championship. Penn State is hanging tough. There's 2 minutes to go, and they're down 5. So by the time you hear this, we'll obviously have our results. We'll have our brackets. We'll be filling it out. And I'm calling it. Next time we speak is going to be next Sunday or Monday. We're going to be bringing more regular content to you. Michigan State's going to be in the Sweet 16. Yeah. You can book it. Call your bookie, log into FanDuel. We're going to at least the Sweet 16. I got some bets. Some bets hanging out. Some Final Four bets, some championship bets, and I think it can have.
Before we go,
you say Izzo's always down, but every 3 or 4 years, it's a Final Four run, and it's time, baby.
But okay, I'm hoping
it's time.
So.
We're due.
We are. So if it doesn't happen, then what?
3 years ago, pandemic hit. We were making a run. Here we are 3 years later, ready to make a big run.
The only problem with saying that is Middle Tennessee.
Yeah, anything can happen. That's why it's madness. But we're Middle Tennessee now. We're the 7th seed. We're going to be underdogs.
I hope so. But before we go and before we wrap this up, the bracket's not out. Just off the cuff, who's your national champion?
Michigan State.
Okay.
Maybe Alabama. I like Alabama.
You like Bama?
Yeah. Especially with all that mess they got going on down there.
I could totally see it. I could totally see it. I think that's probably a pretty good bet. I'm gonna go Arizona.
A bold choice, Cotton.
It is.
We'll see how it works out
for you. Big fella. I like him. I actually go Pac-12. I think it's going to be either going to be UCLA or Arizona, but so we'll see when the brackets come out what it looks like, and we'll see our path. And I'm excited to maybe we can do a little episode Wednesday, release it Thursday morning, a little tournament thing just to get the people pumped up. Maybe we do it Tuesday. Maybe we do a quick turn. Get some picks out there.
This guy hasn't seen the sausage made, and you can tell by the comment that he just made. Well, just, throw something together Wednesday night on a work night, get the kids in bed, and then, boom, Thursday morning, it'll be on your desk.
Change it to Tuesday. I changed it to Tuesday.
Oh, thanks, boss. I appreciate you. And I appreciate the listeners. Thanks for hanging with us today. Thanks for staying loyal. Big things are coming to Spartan My Take. We're thinking about changing the podcast name. So we're open to suggestions. Hope everybody has a great week, and we'll be talking to you soon.